Welcome to the MLMsuccess.com podcast, the show designed to return the network marketing industry to its roots of personal growth, leadership development, and wisdom of the ages success principles. We share with you real success stories from real people that we hope will inspire and encourage you personally and help you progress forward in your business and your life. We believe if you build people, people will build the business. Now here is your host, who has been called the number one mind in network marketing, the MLM prophet, network marketing virtual mentor, and a host of other names that we will not mention because this is a family show. Frankly, he's just a small town guy that figured out that the real product in network marketing is people. Dale Calvert.
Hey guys, it's good to have you with us this week. This is session 151 of the MLM Success.com podcast. I appreciate you being here. I hope you've had an awesome week. It's been very, very interesting. We're entering the fastest, busiest time of the year in our other businesses that we operate. Thankfully, things have been going real smooth up to this point, but we've been extremely, extremely busy with the holidays last quarter. It's just crazy. Last week's podcast, that was number 150. And we talked about the real question team builders need to ask themselves before they get involved in this profession. And I have been really shocked at the conversations, the phone calls, the emails from a lot of you. It was really kind of it's really kind of taken me back a little bit because I wasn't really expecting that. But I was telling Don, it's like, my gosh, I feel like that there was a lot of people last week that for the first time really heard what I've been trying to communicate for years and years and years. And it was very encouraging. And I guess it's because so many of these people are outside of my particular organization from the standpoint that, you know, they weren't bombarded with it every single day, every single week, you know, completing their weekly progress reports, writing it down every week. What are your top 3 reasons, so on and so forth. And I understand that repetition is the mother of learning. I get that, and I understand. And I was thinking back about the day that I finally understood X number of people contacted equals your reasons fulfilled. Now, that's not what he said. And many of you know I'm talking about Jim Rohn and the law of averages. Those of you who've listened to this podcast, you've heard me say that you need to get your hands on that one particular CD, How to Build a Network Marketing Organization from Jim Rohn. Get a hold of that CD and do not listen to it, memorize it. Because that law, the law of averages, has to be as part of you as spelling your name. It has to be just law. It is what it is. You know, as Rodney said in session 146, the Easy Button podcast, and I'm going to be referring back to that a lot, is 2 + 2 = 4. It doesn't matter what you think about it. It is what it is. And that's this whole business from my perspective. It is what it is. And people continue to shoot themselves in the foot over and over and over, and in some cases for years and years and years. When if you just stop and say, you know what, it is what it is. This is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to make it part of me and how I operate and my thought process in building my team every single day. And I'm putting my blinders on and I'm going to stay focused on where it is. Where it is. It is what it is. So I hope that at this point, after listening to session 150, some of you have really got it from your head to your heart, that until a person on your team or until you know why you're doing it, until you know why, the how doesn't matter. Period. End of story. Period. Until you know why, the how doesn't matter. That's step one. That's how you progress. If you don't have that in your heart and your soul on why you're doing it, you will never, people on your team, they might go through the motions for a short period of time, but they will never persist until they succeed. If they don't really, really understand that all the motivation comes from your reasons why. And I think after last week, session 150, some people got it, that, and many of them said, Dale, I should have known that by now. I've heard you say that 1,000 times. I had multiple, like an abnormal amount of conversations and emails and text messages. And it was like, as soon as that podcast dropped, it was like, what is going on? And the only thing that I can relate it to is I remember, having the Jim Rohn Take Charge of Your Life audios that I bought from Nightingale Conant, and listened to those over and over and over and over and over and over, and had heard him talk about 3 basic laws and the law of averages and the sower and planting the seeds, and the birds get some, and so on and so forth. Most of you that have listened to this podcast on a weekly basis, you've heard that story and that audio multiple times. It was originally on Take Charge of Your Life. Some of you know that when the first time I hired Jim Rohn to speak for our organization, that was the training that I wanted to make sure that he did. And I probably told this story, so I'm not going to. I'll go ahead and share it with you real quick. I'm not in a hurry. Well, I kind of am. But anyway, it was like that training. I hate to back up because I feel like you guys hear my stories over and over and over and over, the same ones, and I realize there's a lot of new people that hear this podcast for the first time every week. So let me quickly share this with you, and I need to get past that, I reckon. I'm not sure, but anyway, $60. Earl Nightingale Conant, man, sending $60 off for a set of 6 audios was not an easy thing to do at the time in my life, and I got the Jim Rohn 6 audios, and man, I burn them up, and especially the 3 basic laws, and it just makes sense, it is what it is when you're building an organization. Some can't hear it. You plant the seeds, the birds are going to get some, the heat's going to get some, then some start to take root. I'll start to grow, and then the roots just kill them. But those that do, the seeds that do take root and grow, multiply 10,000-fold. And that's kind of a law. And again, you need to listen to that audio. You need to listen to that and get that from your head to your heart, and understand that the ones that do take root multiply 10,000-fold. And see, that's why when I talk about you're only looking for 3 people a year, daggone it, I mean it. It's a law. I mean it. It's not conception. It's not a concept. It's not conceptual. It's not an idea that kind of sounds cool. Daggone it. It's the law. It's the law. And most people, they're trying to take dead seed and revive it all the time, instead of, what does the sower do? The sower continued to plant the seed, continue to plant the seed, continue to plant the seed. And again, I didn't mean to get into all that. However, when Jim was coming, we hired him to come and speak for our organization. We said, do whatever you want to do, but you got to do 3 basic laws. And right before the event. He said, Jim's been working on this brand new training. He wants to do it for you guys. And, one of my managers was telling me that worked for me at the home office. I said, look, he can do whatever he wants to do, but you tell Mr. Rohn that from day one we said we want him to do 3 basic laws. And if he's not willing to do that, then the contract is null and void, because that's why I want him to be there. And long story short, our crowd gave him what he told me going back to the airport was the best ovation he's ever received in his entire years of speaking. And his promoter that was with him said, look, he said, he is on today. I've never seen him on. And as Jim Rohn shares the 3 basic laws story training right from his journal, it was epic. Some of you listening to this were there. And some of you have seen the video of that. We have it available somewhere. I think we make it available in the training club or somewhere. I don't even know. But anyway, let me continue. So this week was one of those weeks where it's like, man, people are starting to understand this. And see, for me, I heard those audios from Jim Rohn multiple times, hundreds. But when I went and saw him live in Ohio, and I saw him give that training live from stage that I'd heard hundreds of times, for some reason that day, it got from my head to my heart. I'd been in the industry for 3 years, and I left that event, and I've never been the same since. Because I finally understood the law of averages. I got it. I really got it from my head to my heart. And I'm hoping that some of you, after last week, got from your head to your heart until people know why. The how doesn't matter. The most important thing you can do as a leader is to take some time. We get in too big of a hurry. Man, this is a long, long process. It is. It's challenging. You got to care enough about people to tell them what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. And it's like, hey, what do you want to accomplish with this program in the next 5 years? If everything worked out perfectly for you, what would you achieve over the next 5 years? And that's why we've taught 20 Reasons Top 3 sheets, forms, dashboards, whatever you want to call them, since our 3rd year, and since we came back from that Jim Rohn event in Ohio. So, see, what I try to communicate, it haunts me. It sincerely does, because I don't teach, I don't share ideas and fluff answers and, well, this is what Dale thinks. I don't. And a lot of what I teach, I understand, is controversial. It's not mainstream today. And I get that. That's fine. And you can think it's controversial, but I would tell you it's gospel. And I hate even saying that because it sounds sacrilegious or something, but daggone it, 2 + 2 is 4. Things are the way they are. And we can fight them, or we can accept them, understand them, and learn to work with them. And when you learn to work with it, and you just get in a rhythm, and you get in a flow, and you just roll. You just roll, and you don't get bogged down in the minutia, and most of it is minutia. This business, for you to find your 3 leaders a year, it all comes down to, first of all, you got to get through enough numbers. But then once you find a person, you have to throw the ball to them and let them throw the ball back to you. And you throw the ball to them and they throw the ball back to you, and you take them down this road, which ultimately will lead them to wherever they want to go. Yes, along the path, they're going to have hurdles. And as a leader, you need to have third-party tools, books, audio, CDs, podcasts to help them get through that hurdle. I've talked about that. If you study this, the road to $10,000 a month in network marketing. I think it's MLMhelp.com/the road. But if you go to MLMhelp.com and in the little search box type the road to $10,000 a month, it'll pop up. It's a webinar. It's free. That is the road. That's the road. It's not, Dale doesn't think this is the road. It's the friggin' road. It is the road. It is the road. It's not might be the road. I don't care if somebody else says, well, Dale, no, the road's here. No, Dale, the shortcut's over there. Dale doesn't know about that shortcut. Listen, guys, this is what it is. It is what it is. It's just gospel. I've studied this, looked at this, worked with more people than most of you ever will. I've been down this road at levels that very few people ever will in their lifetime. I'm old. I understand that the real product in network marketing is people. And if you build people, people will build the business. Look, there's multiple different ways for anybody, anywhere to do this business. I'm 1000% agree. There's multiple ways to prospect. There's multiple ways to do this. There's multiple ways to do that. You can do it this way. You can try that. You can try the other thing. I'm all about that. 1000% agree. But that's not where I live. I'm talking about if you want to maximize your time, effort, and energy that you put into building your team, then there is a best way. The way. It's the way. Now, I understand that if it's not congruent with someone's personality, like it's not congruent with my personality. But if it's not congruent with someone's personality, and if someone was able to build their team and get their business off the ground with the skill sets and mindsets that they entered the profession with, then when people talk about the way and it's not congruent with what they did, then it creates conflict, controversy. I understand. I have no problem with it. You're an independent contractor. You can do it however you want to do it. And you can get to $100,000 a year and or $242,000 a year and have everything that you want, and you did it your way, and I'm fine with that. I sincerely am. But I know that it ain't about you. And I know that many people that get to six figures should be at 7. They should be at 7 when they get to, by the time they put that type of time, energy, effort into building this voluntary army we call network marketing teams. That if they understood what I try to communicate, instead of being at 6, they would be at 7 figures. And I know that when most people get to 6-figure income, they're out of the profession in 5 years. I mean, that's kind of horrifying to me. I know most people don't care, but it's horrifying to me. And so my entire career, it's been about why. In anything that I say, I mean, I will communicate, debate, argue, talk about it with anybody, anywhere in the world who's had some experience actually building teams. So you can do it many different ways. But let me ask you something. What does doing it mean? What's the definition of doing it and being successful for you? What is the definition of doing it and being successful? And then I would say, what is the definition for doing it and being successful for you? because that's two different things. See, I believe there is a definition of success, and I believe there's a definition of becoming a successful network marketer. I believe they should be in the dictionary. They're so defined. And see, that's crazy. Well, Dale, success is objective. Success is, well, let me give you the definitions and then see if they're debatable when you really just look at what they are, because I don't think they're debatable. And if you do, I'd love to know. Here's my definition of success. Success is living your life working towards worthy goals. That's the definition of success. So you can be in the slum, in a row home somewhere, and you're living your life, and you're taking care of your family, and you're working hard, and you have a goals that in front of you. You're working towards something you haven't accepted. If you're not happy, you haven't accepted where you are, and you're working towards worthy goals. You're working daily towards worthy goals. Then you're a success. Success is living your life working towards worthy goals. Now, here's the rub. Once you reach those goals, you're no longer a success unless you set new goals. So success is unobtainable. That's why you make the most out of every single day. You count your blessings. You combine ambition with thankfulness every single day. And success is living your life working towards worthy goals. Once you reach those goals, you're no longer a success unless you set new ones. Now, I think for people that want to help people become successful, for people that are working and want to be successful, then it makes a lot of sense to totally define your definition of success. The definition I gave you just now, I've talked about in other podcasts. I remember the day, the time, the night when I heard it. Sitting in a steakhouse in Louisville, Kentucky, with a gentleman named Bill Johnson. May he rest in peace. And he received that from a company, I don't think they're still in business. They were in Waco, Texas, called Success Motivation Institute, is where that definition of success, I believe, was originally generated or created. And I love it. I've never found a better definition than that. And I've used it my entire career and shared it. And I want people to get it, again, from their head to their heart. Because I think it's gospel. I view it that way. And again, I don't want to sound sacrilegious when I say that, but I think that you, wherever you are in the world, having your definition of success is important. So, Dale, you're saying the only people that are not successful are the people that are not working towards worthy goals. Pretty much. Those who, and again, I understand people get in desperate places, get in terrible places. But our job as entrepreneurs and as human beings is to help other people have hope, so they can work towards worthy goals. When people lose hope, that's when things really get messed up in a community, in a family, in a world. So our job as human beings is to encourage and help other people. And a lot of people are so focused on themselves that they cannot focus on trying to be of an encouragement to other people. You know, Dr. Forrest Shackley, this hung on my wall in my office for years. You keep that which you give away. You keep that which you give away. So, that's the definition of success. So what's the definition of success in network marketing? Like, I'll give you have 3 minutes to answer the question. But what is this? What is the definition of success in network marketing? If you're in network marketing and you want to become successful, don't you feel that would be something that would be worth really, really defining? And see, maybe I'm crazy, but that's the way I live and look at pretty much everything in life. Okay, this is what I want. What is it? What is it really? And then once I get it, then I hang on to it and I reinforce it. And if I will debate it and talk about it and argue it, and I am open. I want it. If I'm missing it, I want to know. And I was that way all of my life. I'm still that way to a large degree, especially on topics that I know nothing about. But when you know that you know what you know, and you hear it just prostituted out, I mean, really, and you know, 80% of it is spoke, and they're leaving out the 20% that really cements it, the concept, idea, method. Then I have major problems with it. And again, I've just been doing this a long time. But I'm learning new stuff every day, and I approach it the exact same way. I'm looking for what is the foundation on which something can be built. What is the style? I'm not looking for the straw and the sticks, going back to the 3 little pigs. I'm looking for the rock. What is the foundation? And when you have this kind of mindset, you're able to get a glimpse of foo-foo dust real quick. And once foo-foo dust is revealed, it can be revealed once. People can make honest mistakes, have honest errors in judgment. But when it's just constantly regurgitated over and over, if I'm still listening to it, that's on me. That's on me. That's not on the person regurgitating the crap. It's on me. So what is the definition of success in network marketing? Here's what I believe it is. Well, Dale, they were really successful. See, because some people, it's like, really, it's like, my auto ship is free. Oh, your auto ship is free? Awesome. We got to get you in front of the group. And again, I think Rodney talked about that. If y'all didn't hear the Easy Button podcast, I think it's session 146. Yeah, 146. So what is the definition of success? Because it's broad. It's based upon each individual. I agree with that. I 1000% agree with that. We have grandparents that we work with, and their only goal is to make an extra $500 a month to send to their grandchildren, their granddaughter. The lady I'm thinking of right now, that she $500 a month, she sends it to her granddaughter in college. Man, that's a success. That is a success. So again, helping people identify what does success look like for them. Will that change? Will success change? Of course. Why? Because success is living your life working towards worthy goals. So when somebody has a goal to make $500 a month and they start making $7, and then the 7 jumps to $750, you know what will happen? If they don't set new goals, and again, as leaders, it's like, okay, if you were making $1,000 a month, what would you do with the other 500? And I am saying this because I've had this conversation recently with a coaching student, and she says, well, and she's figured out, well, I'm going to take the other 500 and I'm going to put it in a vacation fund for myself and my husband, and that's going to be money that we're going to go on vacation with and just blow it and just have a great time and not even worry about the money. I said, that's awesome. She said, yeah, that kind of gets me excited. So now let's set the goal for 1,000. And you just keep moving forward. When I got involved in network marketing, I thought if I could make $100,000 a year, drive a new car, and go to Hawaii, life couldn't be any better than that. Success is living your life working towards worthy goals. Most people that start making $10,000 a month in network marketing are spending $14,000 to try to keep up with the Joneses. I don't know who the Joneses are, but I know they create a lot of headache for a lot of people. It's like, I'm going to go to Dubai with the leaders. What? Why? Because I want the selfies. And you know, they're making they were making $43,000 a year. They get involved in network marketing. You know, they're making $9,700 to $10,200 a month. And then they got to get a new car, new this, new that, new watch, go to Dubai, and then they end up in a worse situation than when they started because they didn't have proper leadership really helping them think through some of this stuff. Many of you have heard me talk about, those of you in the training club, I talk about this at the end of the training club. Go through your toy stage. Go through your toy stage. Go to Hawaii. Buy the purse, buy the shoe, do whatever, go through a toy stage, but don't stay there. You can have a toy stage for a month, up to 90 days, blow your check, and then get out of all debt. And again, I'm not going to do that training now, but going back to the original question, what really is ultimate success in network marketing? What is ultimate? What is the definition of ultimate success? Not in life, but in network marketing. And being able to identify that for yourself is really, really important, because if you don't, you will, I've seen it, people start making a little money, and then the Elvis syndrome kicks in, and it's crazy what the roads network marketing will take people when they start making money and they aren't ready for it. It's crazy the roads that it will take them. So the earlier that you define what your ultimate goal is, the better off that you are. And my definition of ultimate network marketing success is you're in a situation. See, okay, you live on $43,000. You're making $14,000 a month now. And again, what most people do is they get in a toy stage and they get trapped. That's what happens. So the ultimate goal is to go through a toy stage. You deserve it, but don't stay there. Then pay off all debt except your home, and then decide, where do I want to live the rest of my life? And then if it's where you are, pay your home off. If it's not, what do you want to do? Decide your housing situation and work towards getting that totally taken care of with no debt. And then you want to get yourself in a situation where you can live a very comfortable lifestyle if your company was gone tomorrow. You have enough money coming in through your other investments, whether it be real estate, building a Motel 6, investing in a franchise, as many other businesses, creating cash flow as many ways as you can until you can live a comfortable lifestyle without the check from your network marketing company. In my opinion, that is the ultimate goal. That is ultimate success in network marketing. Growth. So again, I think getting clear on definitions of why you're doing what you're doing, and again, as we talked about in session 150, the quality of our life is in direct proportion to the quality of questions that we ask ourselves and then answer them truthfully. There's nothing that I teach today that I haven't thought through or experienced 1,000 times and debated with multiple people in leadership positions over and over and over through the years. And there's a lot of things that I teach that I wish weren't the way they are. I wish I could teach you to build your team the way you want, doing what you love, and just having fun every day, and creating a social club and a bunch of people that know you, like you, and trust you, and so on and so forth. And that mentality works in most businesses. It really does. But not in network marketing, because in network marketing, it ain't about you. It ain't about you. Do you understand that? You're building a voluntary army. And the ultimate goal in network marketing, if you want to maximize your upside potential, if you don't want to maximize your upside potential, if you want to get to 10,000 and then feel pressure that you need to be spending 14,000 a month to keep up with the people above you, and if you want to play all those games, that's cool. But that's not where I live. That's not where I come from. Ultimately, your income in network marketing is in direct proportion to the number of leaders that are developed on your team. That's the definition. That's how you create ultimate success in network marketing. Your long-term income is in direct proportion to the number of leaders that are developed on your team. Distributors are a revolving door. They're coming and going all the time. But developed leaders stay. So the question is, how do you develop homegrown leaders? The only way, this is gospel, the only way to do that is sequentially and systematically. And where does it start? It starts with top 3 reasons, top 20 reasons, top 3, 50 names to practice with. System that can be duplicated. Again, guys, I understand that most of what I communicate is controversial. It's controversial. And I understand it. Okay, and I'm not, again, anytime, anywhere, I will debate, argue, talk about, communicate with anybody that has experience. that's been around for a while and has actually built teams. And I love to talk with those people to get their perspectives. And I have all my career. And so I get to because of that, then I am able to identify the rock. What's the rock from the foo-foo dust? I always talk about, look behind the daggone curtain. Look behind the curtain. And a lot of times I understand people's perspective because at one point I felt the same way they did. But it's constantly refining the questions and the definitions, the answers to those questions. But more importantly is having the right questions, as we talked about last week. And once you have it, then you've got it. Here's your rock. And I'm hoping that I've always hoped that somebody's going to come with a sledgehammer and dynamite and just blow up my rock. Man, I love it when that happens. It used to happen to me quite often. I love for my rock to be blown up, and I have a paradigm shift, and I see things from a more foundational wisdom standpoint. I love it when that happens. Okay, so it is what it is. And last week I got a lot of great messages. I hope this week that when it comes down to success, what is success in life? What is success in network marketing? That's what I hope you're going to think about. But more important than anything else, it's like I want you guys to understand where I'm really coming from, because I don't care to hear myself talk. I sincerely don't. It's like, Dale, you need to go online. You used to do Periscopes and let people ask questions, and it's like, yeah, and I did used to do that, and you need to do that. No, I don't, because that type of environment is not sequential. It's not systematic. Most people who ask questions and answer them don't understand that the answer is not coming off the top of my head, because I am quick to say, you know what, if it's something I don't have a clue about, I say, look, I don't have a clue about that. I've told people that's like Chinese to me. I don't know, you're asking the wrong person. I don't have a problem with that at all. And in network marketing, everything is so sequential. So I can teach you how to do this algebra problem. But if you haven't learned basic addition yet, and how to subtract, and how to multiply, and how to divide, me talking to you right now at this point on your journey about algebra is of no value to you. So I don't like that type of environment. I can thrive in it, but it's not the best for people. Sequential, systematic, step by step, concept by concept, that's the way people are going to, and taking what they learn and implementing it in the marketplace is the best way for people to master what they need to master. So, again, I appreciate all the great comments I had from last week and the conversations. And I got some hate mail too, and I got to share this with you because I'm going to set this up. I was going to discuss it in this week, and I'm not going to take the time. This is worthy of of a full session, so I'll do it next week. But Marty sent me an email, and he said, "You teach a concept called 27-3 70%er. And I know you stole it from," and he says somebody's name that normally I would say, but honestly, I have so much respect for this particular individual that I'm not going to mention his name. He says, Marty says, "You teach a concept called 70%, 3%, 27%, and I know you stole it from blank, who teaches a concept called 80, 15, and 5. He and many other leaders teach 80, 15, and 5. 5% are going for the big money and big dreams. 15 are happy to make a few hundred or a few thousand. 15% are happy to make a few hundred or a few thousand extra dollars. And 80% of people are happy just to be part of the company and use the products. And we need to make them feel welcome and included. You teaching ideas like you need to run off people that are not serious is destructive to the profession, and you need to make people feel important, loved, and respected, and let them just be product users. What do you have to say about that? Oh, man. Well, the first thing I have to say about that is if 1,000 people say a stupid thing, it's still a stupid thing. And I'm going to get into major detail on this next week in session 152 of the MLM Success Podcast. I'm going to do a whole session on this next week. Before I let you go this week, was one other note I wanted to make sure that I shared with you guys. Tentative date. This is tentative. I should have, but I haven't. But many of you know, and some of you asking because you say, look, I want to make sure I have team members that I want to make sure are on that or participate in the workshop. I do a network Programming Your Mind for Success workshop once a year. I open that program and do a workshop. People have been asking about it, and I got 3 emails last week. I want to make sure my team members are on that. The tentative date, and I'm sorry I'm giving you a tentative date, but it's Monday, December 30th. You can write that in your calendar and pencil. Monday, December 30th. It'll probably be like at 8 o'clock on a Monday night. I'll let you know. Those of you that are subscribers over at MLMhelp.com, you'll get notification. But that's the tentative date for that workshop. Monday, December 30th. I got to check it against the UK basketball schedules, and I've got to check it against a couple of other things. And my wife is not here, and I don't have her calendar in front of me, but Monday, December 30th is the tentative date. If you don't know anything about it, you don't have a clue what I'm talking about, I apologize. You can go, if you go over to programmingyourmind.com, there is, I forgot I did this, but when you sign up there for the pre-notification of the event, that again happens once a year, the workshop, if you sign up over there, I'm giving away an MP3 form, a program that I did. It's called Dale Calver 50/50. It was limited edition. I did it on my 50th birthday, and I shared 50 of the most important ideas, concepts, concepts, philosophies as an entrepreneur, husband, dad, business owner that I have learned in my first 50 years, and I made available just exclusively to my highest level customers back then. And the audio CDs, we made a limited number, and they're gone. I mean, they were gone within 24 hours. But I have the MP3s over there, and I'm giving those where people, when you go over to programmingyourmind.com and you pre-register for that workshop that we do once a year, then right now we're actually making those MP3s available to you. So that's good stuff and worth checking out. Guys, I appreciate you being with me this week. I appreciate your comments, your feedback. I need it. I thrive on it. It's real important. It helps me do my very best to help you. But I just hope that you understand that where I'm coming from on stuff, because I hate it when people try to put me in certain categories and think that I'm just blowing smoke and fluff like, most of the people trying to teach people how to build their business that have no track record of ever helping anybody, get out of their job or get out of the situation that they were caught in, or really move forward and achieve. And I just want people to understand where I'm coming from. So anyway, you guys have a great week. Next week we'll talk about this 80-15-5 stuff. I got to do a little bit more research, and we'll talk about that next week. I hope it'll be fascinating for you. It's going to be fascinating for me. I basically understand the concept, but I want to make sure I'm coming from the right place. You guys have an awesome week, and phenomenal time with your family this Thanksgiving. And I'm trying to work it out where I'm going to be able to spend all day celebrating Thanksgiving with Dawn and her sisters and family and cousins and all of them, and also with my family in Kentucky. So you guys enjoy your family, man. They're so important, you know. It's so important. Just enjoy them, hug on them, love on them, and have an awesome weekend. I will be back with you next week for another session of the MLMsuccess.com podcast.
If you haven't gone over to iTunes yet and rated and left this podcast a review, what are you waiting for? At Calvert Marketing Group, we want to spend our time on the projects that we know are providing the most value for our clients and customers. You leaving us a review and feedback on iTunes is something that helps us more than you realize. And more importantly, it helps others like you find us. So if you've not taken the time to rate this podcast, please go over to iTunes and do that for us now. It will only take a couple of minutes out of your busy schedule. Work harder on yourself than you do on your business, and we will be back next week with another inspiring success story, wisdom of the ages training, or answers to your questions.